Yes, Your Honor.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, let's bring the jurors in.
All rise for the jury.
All right, everyone, please be seated. We're getting closer and closer to the time that I tell you. So we're off by 7 minutes today. All right, State, you may call your next witness.
The state calls Sergeant Matthew Pearson. You would just clip this. It's for the court reporter, and then speak into the microphone for the jury.
All right, can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you can lower your hand. Make sure you keep your voice up so that everyone can hear. If you'll state your name for the record, please.
Sergeant Matthew Pearson with the San Antonio Police Department.
All right, State, you may proceed.
Thank you. Sergeant Pearson, are you a certified peace officer?
Yes, ma'am.
How long have you been employed with the San Antonio Police Department?
September 11th will be my 16-year mark.
What is your current title and assignment with the San Antonio Police Department?
I'm a sergeant promoted in February. I am currently in the Internal Affairs Unit.
Congratulations. Were you employed as a police officer back in May 2022 with the San Antonio Police Department?
Yes, ma'am.
And what was your title and assignment then?
I was a detective on the crime scene investigating unit.
And can you just explain to the jury some of the training and experience or the training that you underwent to become a police officer with SAPD?
In the academy, it's about a little over 9 months. We go through tactics, all kinds of specialized programs as far as family violence. We have to get a peace officer license, which we have to take a test for. But it's about 9.5 months, and then for about 3 to 4 months, you're with another officer training, make sure that you're qualified and good for the community and good for their officers. And then I was on patrol for about 5 years on West Dog Watch. And then I was on the DWI task force for about 6 years. And I promoted to detective and went to the crime scene investigating unit for about 4 years.
And for the promotional process, what does that entail?
There's a very large amount of information you have to study for. And then the city decides, makes a test over that information. I think it was a little over 1,000 pages worth of information, the general manual policies, penal code, and contract as far as the city.
Okay. And as a detective with the crime scene investigation unit, did you have any specialized training in collecting and preserving evidence?
Yes, I had to go through a 2-week course for UDI school, uniform crime detectives. And then when I went on to CSI, I had further training, and then we had a bi-weekly 10-hour training for several years.
Thank you. Now I want to turn your attention back to May 22nd of 2022. Do you recall the case number assigned to the case that you were working that day?
The actual case number itself, no, no.
Did you generate a report that reflected your findings?
Yes,
Would it help refresh your memory if you had a copy of that?
yes.
All right. Can you take a look at that for me?
Yes, ma'am. This is my CSSR. It's a crime scene search report.
Okay. Now you can not read from it, but you are able to refresh your memory. So can you please tell the jury the case number associated with the call that you responded to on May 22nd of 2022?
The case number is gonna be SAPD 22108229.
Okay. And on that day, were you dispatched to 14335 O'Connor Road, San Antonio, Texas, 78247?
Yes,
Is that location in Bear County?
yes, ma'am.
And do you recall what type of location that was?
I believe it was a church.
Okay. And do you recall why you were dispatched to that location?
I was dispatched for an officer involved shooting.
Can you describe the scene that you encountered upon arrival?
The majority of the scene was in, I believe, the east parking lot of the church. A little bit more towards O'Connor. The patrol vehicle, I believe, was already moved back, or they were getting ready to move it back, and rolled down a hill across O'Connor and into a fence. We were able to start locating spent shell casings, and also later found out there were vehicle parts a little further into the church parking lot area.
Okay. Were you equipped with any device to make a recording of the crime scene?
I do not wear a body camera as a crime scene investigator, but for major incidents, we have a video camera that we record the scene after we locate all the evidence.
All right. And did you do that in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Now I'm showing you what has been marked as State's Exhibit number 21. Can you take a look at that for me, please? Do you recognize that?
Yes, ma'am.
And what is it?
That is the, I guess, copy of the video that I took at the crime scene.
And have you reviewed it prior to today?
Yes,
And was it a fair and accurate depiction of the video that you created on the offense date?
yes, ma'am.
Tendering to defense for inspection and offering State's Exhibit number 20.
No objection.
All right, State's Exhibit number 21 is admitted without objection.
Permission to publish.
Granted.
And can you explain to the jury what that is?
This is a photo board. We write down all the information on it, just in case the video itself ever gets lost inside the system. They're able to locate it first from the photo board, so they can match it to where it needs to go.
And the camera that you were using, was it equipped with any special like light enhancing features?
There is a very small light attached to it, but most of the time they don't work and they're not very bright.
And so how would you describe the lighting in the parking lot?
It was a pretty well lit parking lot. There was a lot of different light poles throughout the parking lot.
Yeah, are we seeing some lights and depicted in State's Exhibit number 21? Light poles?
Yes. The light source that I carry is predominantly for close-up views of items of evidence. So you'll see later on when I zoom into a specific item of evidence, it's able to light it up.
And so what are you capturing currently on state's exhibit number 21?
This is the patrol vehicle that was involved in the officer involved shooting. It had already been moved from its original location. It was very windy that day. Usually we do not put rocks on top of the placards, but they were not standing still, so we had no choice.
Okay, and so I paused this state's exhibit at 2 minutes and 28 seconds. Can you describe to the jury what we're reviewing currently?
That is evidence placard number 1, and it is around evidence item number 1, which is a 9mm blazer spent casing.
And does the San Antonio Police Department use 9mm blazer ammunition?
During that time frame, we were using a 40 cal Smith & Wesson spear. We currently do have 9mm, but not blazer spear.
Thank you. And I've paused the state's exhibit at 3 minutes and 8 seconds. What are we currently viewing?
That is going to be an officer's spent casing. It's a spear 40 cal. And
And
it appears to have some kind of damage, which can be either from a vehicle or from a footprint.
and what evidence placard is that?
That's evidence item number 2.
And I'll ask you about evidence placards 2 through 14. Did they appear to be the same round or brand of ammunition?
Yes, ma'am.
And is that what we're viewing currently?
Yes, ma'am.
And then, I'm pausing the state exhibit at 5 minutes and 46 seconds. Can you explain to the jury what we're viewing?
This is item number 15. It is a brass casing, also a 9 mm casing, which is not officer.
Okay, and is not consistent with what we previously viewed as, E1?
Yes.
And, what direction of travel are you taking in the state exhibit currently?
I believe this is south away from O'Connor, which I guess would be southwest.
And what are you zooming in on in the state exhibit?
It looks like
You can see it from
Oh,
okay, that's better.
looks to be vehicle tire marks. Usually from a vehicle making a sharp turn, possibly losing control or braking.
And E16 and E17, what were those?
Vehicle parts appears to be undercarriage, part of a vehicle.
And E18?
Same.
Yeah. What about E19?
There was some glass that we assumed it was part of whatever vehicle was from.
Now regarding what we've seen as E1 through E15, did you seize that physical evidence on scene that day?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you bring it to court at my direction?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Sergeant Pearson, I'm showing you what has been marked as State's Exhibits number 22 and State's Exhibit number 23. Do you recognize these?
Yes, ma'am.
And regarding State's Exhibit number 22, are these what you labeled in your report as E1 and E15?
Yes, number 22 is.
Okay, and regarding State's Exhibit number 23, is that what you labeled in your report as E2 through E14?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and how are you able to tell that this is the same evidence that you seized on scene that day?
This package right here, this red tape right here, I have to initial with my badge number and the date that I sealed it. It's, the evidence, red tape is just to improve the integrity of it, to make sure that it hasn't been tampered with or opened from when it left my possession to the crime lab.
Okay. And does State's Exhibit number 22 contain those same markings as well?
Yes, this red tape right here, this new tape right here has been opened by the crime lab and they initialed and signed for it, that they opened it.
Okay. I'm gonna ask you to open them up, but just do this. All right, so if you would go ahead and open up State's Exhibit number 22 outside the presence of jury, please. Mr. Navy, if you'd like to come inspect.
I've already inspected those. Turn away from.
No, go ahead.
So inside this package is my name, initials and badge number, also to prove that this was my package. And then same thing with each individual casing, they're also red taped and initial and badge number and date that they were sealed. And everybody's initial and day they took custody of it and examined it.
And so these items contained in State's Exhibit number 22, do they appear to be in the same form as they were the date that you seized it on scene?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and Your Honor, at this time, the state offers State's Exhibit number 22 into evidence.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
All right, State's Exhibit number 22 is admitted without objection.
Permission to publish. Your Honor.
Granted.
All right, and so what we're reviewing here is what you found on scene as E1 and E15, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And now regarding state exhibit number 23, if you go ahead and start opening that.
You want all for penalties?
And regarding state exhibit number 23, is that the same thing? It contains each shell casing and individual packaging?
Yes,
And do those individual packages contain your identifying marks on them?
yes, ma'am. This red tape right here. The lighter red tape is gonna be the crime line.
All right. And after viewing the contents of the individual envelopes contained in state exhibit number 23, that contain your identifying marks, after viewing them, do they appear to be in the substantially same form as they were on the date that you seized them?
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, at this time, the state offers exhibit number 23.
All right, State's Exhibit number 23 is admitted without objection.
Permission to publish, Your Honor.
Granted. I'm sorry, could I have parties approach just briefly?
Yes.
All right, parties, I'm so sorry, just approach briefly.
All right. And so I'm going to label Michelle Casey that's being published currently. As State Exhibit 23A. That's being published to the jury.
And defense, the items that came from packet, State's Exhibit number 23. It appears that the state is labeling them by the alphabet, but still within 23. Is there any objection to the contents of 23?
No, Your Honor.
All right. So the contents of State's Exhibit number 23 is admitted without objection.
Thank you. And 23B. C. 23D. 23E. 23F. 23G. 23H. 23I. 23J. 23K. 23L. 23M. All right, now Sergeant Pearson, also while we were on the scene, did you create a sketch of the scene?
Yes, ma'am.
And can you just describe to the jury how you go about doing that?
Sketch is basically that's the building picture of the location and measurements from one point to another. So if we ever have to go back to the scene to try to recreate it, we would have the approximate location where it should be.
Now I'm showing you what's been marked as State's Exhibit number 24. Do you recognize that document?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you create that document?
Yes, ma'am.
And is that a fair and accurate depiction of your findings on scene?
Yes. Ma'am. There's two different sketches there. One of the front parking lot and one of the back towards the playground.
Okay. I'm tendering State's Exhibit number 24
to defense for inspection and offering the same.
No objection.
All right, State's Exhibit number 24 is admitted without objection.
Permission to publish.
Granted.
All right, Sergeant Pearson, so if you can just explain to the jury, and you can zoom the camera, but what we're looking at currently.
The first top number is gonna be the case number, followed by the incident number, and then the date, location, and then this is the district, the service area for, police response. And then OIS is the offense.
And so then if I move that down, can you explain what you depicted on your sketch?
This is that drive, and the parking lot, the entryway is over here, this is the,
I'm sorry to interrupt you.
sorry.
Your Honor, may you have permission to come down?
Yes. And defense, you can move about if you need to move about to see certain things as well.
I've got it.
All right.
All right, so if you could just explain to the jury what we are viewing in your sketch.
All right, this is the building, the corner of the building. This is that driveway that comes up to the main entry of the church. The shell casings up here are at the top of the hill, 15-1, or towards, the start of the slope down towards O'Connor. And then there's 2 trees and a light pole right here at the entryway. And then that was that, random vehicle that was parked in the handicap spot, but we put the license plate number just in case it has any involvement. And then this is the, north, or the parking lot towards O'Connor. This area right here is the parking lot, and O'Connor's right over here.
You could show the jury what is depicted in your sketch.
This is the back of the church, right here is that, roadway where the shell casings are, towards O'Connor. This is the fire hydrant, these are the items 16, 17, 18, and 19 located near the playground in that grass area. And then, more light poles towards the back, and then that is a private drive, which I believe leaves the church parking lot.
Okay, you can take this.
We pass the witness, Your Honor.
All right, defense.
Thank you, Judge. Good afternoon, Sergeant Pearson. On defendant's exhibit, and if I could get the, I'm sorry, the ammo back on
Oh, yeah.
with the last exhibit sketch. Okay. So this is page 2 of your report, correct?
I believe so. The first page should be the actual sketch. Second one is going to be measurements.
Okay. Does that indicate page 2 of 5?
Yes.
Okay, and I just want to have a little bit of help understanding this. So the measurements you label, I'm sorry. All right, you label one column over here as A, correct?
Correct.
And then this one as B.
Correct.
And then you have various numbers of feet in the A column.
Yes, sir.
And then same thing with the B column.
Correct.
And then you have an E
Yes.
in the A column. Does that indicate a certain number of feet east of A?
Yes. So if a wall is A, it's going to be 51.5 feet east of A.
And then this would be, the B column would be, for those S's?
Yeah, it's going to be south of the B wall.
Okay. And so this is A, so you're saying it says front wall, correct?
Correct.
So you're saying east of A is the measurement,
Correct.
correct? And so we have on E1, 51.5 feet east of A, which is right here.
So can I see that up close? Sorry.
Sure.
Oh, you can step down.
Oh, okay. Do that one. So either.
I see. Okay. So east of A doesn't, it's not, it doesn't go this way, it goes this way.
Correct.
Okay,
So
so
east-
that means, okay, east being closest to Oklahoma Road.
Correct.
Okay, fair enough. And so, Sergeant, you said that on this date you were working as a crime scene investigator, correct?
Correct.
And you stated that you don't do walkthroughs with a body camera, correct?
Correct.
Okay. You actually have a separate camera that they issue you to do these with.
We have them at the CSI unit room, and we only go get them for major incidents. It basically it's limited to either ag assault, murder, capital murder, or usually officer involved shootings or in custody deaths. That's usually when we report. Otherwise, it's just photos.
Fair to say, for the most serious types of cases.
Right.
This camera.
Yes.
Is that fair to say? Okay. And even though, so body cameras are capable of taking accurate recordings of what's going on, correct?
Yes, with body camera, well, with video, we try to get a little overall 360, and then medium close range. That's why we zoom all the way in, so you can show that it's the same evidence item. With body camera, you would literally have to take it off, and
Sure,
unless you want to get on the ground and do a push up or something.
I understand. So the policy is not to do that, but to get these cameras that are only reserved for the
Correct.
most serious types of cases. And are you aware that certain cameras can perform better in low light conditions than others?
Yes.
Certain cameras will only need a minimal amount of light to then create a more visible picture, correct?
Yes, it is possible.
Correct. Are you an expert in the various technical capabilities of different cameras?
No, sir.
Okay, so you wouldn't be able to go in great depth and explain all that.
No, sir.
And I know that in your sketch, you did measure various distances of shell casings, correct?
Correct.
However, it is not the sketch itself is not to scale, correct?
Correct.
And it states that on the bottom of the sketch.
Yes.
So this is not
Not
everything
perfect.
is not measured out. It's basically the best you can do to try to pinpoint the different locations of the shell casings, correct?
Correct.
And you would agree that the locations of shells are not always a perfect indicator of where that shot was fired, correct?
Correct.
For instance, numbers E2 through 14, those were all the 40 caliber casings, correct?
Yes, sir.
Believed to be fired by Officer Imes.
I do not recall the exact officer that shot that day.
And it's fair to say that those are still spread virtually it looks like most of the entire width of that road.
Correct.
Different things can affect where shell casings end up.
Yes.
They can bounce in different directions. Depending on the look, and I'm sorry, you have to answer.
Yes.
Depending on the direction that you're shooting, that will also affect where they end up, correct?
Correct.
If a firearm has a slide that's located, an ejection port that's located on the right side of the firearm, typically the shell casing will eject back into the right, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And so obviously if you start shooting in one direction and then start and then alter the direction, that can affect the different locations of shells.
Many different things can affect the direction of the shell.
Such as being struck by a vehicle, by a wheel. Sorry. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't want to you keep speaking. I don't want to interrupt.
Okay. And such as a wheel,
Yes, sir.
if a vehicle is in motion, it could hit part of that vehicle and land in a different area that's not representative of where that shot was fired.
Correct.
I'll pass the witness.
No further questions.
All right, is this witness excused?
By the state, yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Judge.
All right, if you'll make sure that the exhibits are left with the court reporter, please. And your microphone. All right, state, call your next witness.
Yes, Your Honor, the state calls Officer Brian Christensen.
All right, if you'll take a seat here, please. Can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Do.
All right, you can lower your hand, have a seat, and if you'll put the square microphone somewhere on your shirt, it's so that the court reporter can hear. No. The square silver one.
Oh, I was like, this was great.
All right, if you'll keep your voice up so that everyone can hear, and if you'll state your name for the record.
It's Officer Brian Christensen with the San Antonio Police Department.
All right, state, you may proceed.
Thank you, Judge. Officer Christensen, you work for the San Antonio Police Department. Currently, to this date, how long have you worked for the San Antonio Police Department?
17 years.
And so you had to go through certain training and certain educational training to become a police officer, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Can you just briefly tell the jury what type of training and experiences you had to go through?
It'd be the standard police academy that we have, followed by another year of doing ride-alongs, your probationary period where you work under an FTO, make sure that you know what you're doing, and then every year you're still required to do a certain amount of continuing education.
And so are you a Texas certified police officer?
Yes, sir.
And on May 22nd, 2022, were you employed with the San Antonio Police Department at that time?
Yes, sir.
And were you dispatched to an area in San Antonio, Texas for a shooting?
Not initially. I was going over there to see if they just needed help.
And so when you got to the scene, what were your duties at the scene?
Initially, I didn't make the scene. They'd asked for someone to look for a firearm that may have been thrown from the vehicle.
And where were you asked to look for this firearm?
In the area near where the shooting occurred.
And let me go ahead and show you state exhibit number 25. And are you familiar with state exhibit number 25?
Yes, sir.
And what is state exhibit number 25?
It looks to be a map of the area where the shooting occurred, and then the where the final scene ended up with the officers set up around the house.
And this particular map, this overview, is this the area that you were asked to assist?
Yes.
And we see on there that there's some highlighted portions on there.
Mhm.
Starting from the right, going to the left, the highlighted portion on your right side of this map, what does that indicate?
On the right side over here is the church parking lot, and then in the middle would be where the road ends. Then a little cul-de-sac. There's a drop off, and then the final mark would be where the house was,
And what house is that?
where the individual's car was located.
Okay. And this fairly inaccurate represents the area that you searched that day
Yes,
and that you were in that area on May 22nd, 2022.
yes, sir.
And this is in Bear County, Texas.
Yes, sir.
Judge, at this time, we'll tender to defense for any objection. State exhibit number 25. Offering state exhibit number 25.
No objection.
All right, state's exhibit number 25 is admitted without objection.
Hey, publish it to the jury, Your Honor.
Yes.
Let me go ahead and zoom in on section here. That is, you said a highlighted portion that is to the right. On this particular map right now, it looks like there's an intersection here of a Viewcrest Road and O'Connor Road. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And that highlighted portion is, to your knowledge, is it generally where the initial scene happened, where a shooting occurred?
Yeah, it was a parking lot for the church.
Okay. And if we look on this map, you can tell that there looks like there's a entrance and another entrance exits to the parking lots here and also here. Is that correct?
Yes,
One's on O'Connor Road and then one is on Viewcrest Road. Is that correct?
yes.
Okay. And when you were asked to come to this scene or this area, you were asked to look for what?
A firearm that may have been thrown out of a vehicle.
And so, do you remember what time roughly that you arrived at the scene?
I know the sun had come up, so it was easier. I mean, at night they couldn't look for it, but once the sun had come up, that's when they were asking people to look for it.
So you're there during the day. This happened, the actual shooting happened at nighttime or at dark.
Yes.
So you arrived at this area, and then I'm gonna go ahead and move the map of state exhibit number 25 and go down Viewcrest. And there's another highlighted portion there. And can you tell the jury this highlighted portion area?
So in that area that where you can see where the road stops, that's a cul-de-sac,
This right here?
and you can see
Right here?
tire, yes. And there were some faint tire tracks there, but I also ended up finding somebody that had a video of that area. And then on the other side, there's a drop off at the end of the road and there were car parts.
Okay, and so I hear you saying some car parts and some individual about video. Let's just sort of break that down for the jury. Did you end up speaking to somebody in this area right here of that cul-de-sac about a video they may have from their house?
Yes,
And I know that you have a report in front of you, is that correct?
yes.
And is that a copy of your report that you made for this particular
Yeah.
case?
This would be a copy of the supplement.
And can you just please tell me what the SAPD number associated with this case is?
It's gonna be SAPD 22-10-82-29.
Thank you. And does it indicate the individual that you spoke with that day about the video?
Yes,
And who was that individual?
it was Mr. Salazar,
I'm sorry,
Mr. Salazar.
Mr. Salazar. And is that at Xavier Salazar?
Yes.
And does it also list his address?
It's 4818 Viewcrest Road.
And now you spoke with that individual, but did you ever view a video or any type of video that he had?
No, as I recall, he couldn't access it because he didn't have the security code, if I remember right.
And did you give this information to the detective that was in charge of the case to follow up on?
Yes, I put it in my supplement.
Okay. Now, when you speak to him and then you proceed to this cul-de-sac area, the dead end area, and I believe you stated that you saw some things there. Can you please tell the jury what you saw in that area around that dead end?
So it looked like tire tracks, and you can see where the grass had, something had gone through the grass, and then on the other side of the wall, it's like what it would have been like up to my waist, so probably like 4 or 5 foot hollow drop off. And then on the other side, there was just car parts on the street.
And well, let me show you state exhibit number 26 through 32. And if you just go through those and then let me know when you're done. Well, easier. Yep. Okay. Now, in each of these are photographs that were, what were these photographs of?
The car parts out there, the roadway, the cul-de-sac,
Mhm.
and then, I believe, one of the measurements for the size of the park.
And these are photos that, you didn't take these photos, did you?
No, CSI did.
But you were out there when these photos were taken?
Yes.
And do these photos fairly and accurately represent the scene that day?
Yes.
Okay. Judge, the state would be offering state exhibit number 26 through 32. Will tender to defense for any objections.
No objections.
All right, State's Exhibits 26 through 32 is admitted without objection.
All right. And Judge, may I publish?
Yes.
Thank you. All right, state exhibit number 26, is this that cul-de-sac area?
Yes, sir.
All right, and then I'm going to show you what's marked state exhibit number 27. Bit here. It's sort of hard to see on this overhead projector,
Yeah.
but what is that showing?
The path the car took before it dropped down into this, would have been the Higgins Road next to it.
Now, this road right here, do you know what that road is?
That'd be Higgins Road.
Okay. State exhibit number 28. What is this showing?
That's the drop off and then one of the car parts.
And this is the car parts you're speaking of right here?
Yes.
State exhibit number 29. I guess that's just a same photo that's higher up.
I believe damage to the wall, if I remember right, and then where you can see the impact in the grass.
Okay. State exhibit number 30.
Just car parts.
And that's showing that out of state exhibit number 29 on that wall there, that chip of the wall. Is
I
that,
believe so, yes.
I'm sorry?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. And then state exhibit number 31.
Looks like part of the tire from the vehicle.
And
Or
that's
tire
on
mat.
that wall, is that correct?
Yes.
And then state exhibit number 32.
It's a part from a Nissan. You can see in the top left, it's got a Nissan on it.
Just what you're indicating here.
Yes.
Going back to state exhibit number 25. The portion that we were looking at. That cul-de-sac is right here, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And that street Higgins is right here.
Correct.
And on this map, this street that leads over this area over in this other neighborhood, what is the name of that street?
The Bellcrest,
And Belcrest leads down and intersects, what street name is this?
Buckmore.
And then it leads to this other highlighted portion here that you spoke to the jury about earlier, that you indicated that was the house where the vehicle was found. Is that correct?
Yes.
Now, was there a CSI? Did the CSI come to the scene and collect the things from this scene also?
Yes, you did.
And that's the individual that would have taken these pictures.
Yes, sir.
After this particular scene, did you ever find a weapon or a firearm? Did you find any other things of evidence like shell casings or anything else?
No.
So the only thing that you found, or what you'd already testified to about the photograph, these photos, and also about the car parts.
Yes.
And of course, you talked to Xavier Salazar.
Yes.
And then did you ever make another scene associated with this case?
After that, I believe they got a tip on where he might be, and they went to an apartment complex. They found people there. I believe they found him as well. Then they needed people to transport witnesses from that scene to homicide, and then transporting them back.
And so after this, you assisted with just transportation of individuals.
Yes, and then I believe they left the key at homicide, so I had to go back, get the key, bring somebody back, and then get the copy of the warrant as well.
Did a lot of driving that day, to
Yes.
say the least. Okay, so really in that part, you were just more so assisting with just logistics of taking people one place, taking them to another, then also picking up an apartment key and taking it back to the individual that lived in the apartment.
Yes.
But you didn't interview anybody associated with the case, and that's not really your duties, is that correct?
Yeah, no.
Okay, that would be up to the detectives.
Yes.
Judge, at this time, we'll pass the witness.
Everyone's looking at Judge?
Yes.
Thank you. Officer, I'm gonna show you what I've marked as Defendant's Exhibit 75.
Mhm.
If you could take a look at this and let me know if you recognize that.
It looks like a color version of the same map.
Okay, Google Earth version of the same map, basically? Okay. Does it appear to be a fair and accurate representation?
As far as I can tell, yeah.
Okay. Judge Tender, Defendant's Exhibit 75 and offer no evidence?
No,
Any objection?
no objection.
All right, defense exhibit number 75 is admitted without objection. And you may step down if you need to step down to point to things on the map.
Could you let me know if you can see this or if it's a little
Yeah,
too?
this one's terrible, but yeah, I can see it on that one fine.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. There we go. Oh, yeah, it goes.
Grade school all over.
Figuring out how to use this. Okay. Okay. And so you stated that in Defendant's Exhibit 75, this appears to be an accurate overhead depiction of the areas that you were involved in this case. Is that fair to say?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you stated that Viewcrest, let me see here.
You're right there.
Is this street Viewcrest right here?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And Viewcrest does not outlet onto Higgins Road.
No, it doesn't.
Okay. And now the street beyond Viewcrest, what street is this?
The one next to it, that looks like Santa Gertrude.
Let's see.
Gertrudis?
Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry. For the court reporter, could you spell that, please?
Oh.
Here we go.
Santa and then Gertrudis.
Thank you.
Okay. Now does Santa Gertrudis Street intersect with O'Connor Road?
Yes.
Okay, so if you were traveling north on O'Connor Road, you could turn left on Santa Gertrudis Street.
Yes.
Correct? Are you familiar what this building is at the corner of that intersection? And if you're not, it's okay. I don't want you to guess.
I believe it's another church.
Okay. And then beyond that church, does there appear to be a mostly open area? No other structures that we can see immediately in this photo.
Believe at the time, yes.
Okay. And now, as opposed to Viewcrest, Santa Gertrudis does have an outlet back onto Higgins Road, correct?
Yeah, it's a straight shot.
Okay. And then once you're back on Higgins, if you wanted to get back to that house, you said you could still turn on Bellcrest, correct?
Yeah, Bellcrest is the main drive into the
And
neighborhood.
then to Buckmore, and that's where the suspect vehicle was located.
Correct.
Okay. I'll pass the witness.
Any redirect?
Can I just have one moment, Judge?
Yes.
Looking at defense exhibit number 75. Let's see if it opens. There we go. A little bit better. Looking at this portion here, this is that church parking lot that the shooting happened. Is that correct?
Yes.
And then this is Viewcrest right here.
Mhm.
And that leads to that dead end. Is that right?
Yes.
This, what I think you said you believe is a church, this area right here. Is that correct?
Yes.
On here, does it look like, is that a parking lot there? Or do you know what that is?
I believe it's a parking lot, yes.
Okay. And I wonder, does any of this exit to Santa Gertrude? Is there an exit on this area?
No, I believe maybe. I'm looking at that right here. There's in between the two buildings, there is a driveway through there. But I'm not 100%, but I think there is a driveway that cuts through there.
But in between two buildings?
Yes.
Okay. All right, no, we'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
That's what else.
All right, is this witness excused?
Yes, Judge.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you may step down. Make sure you leave the microphone. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give you all a short recess at this point. There are a couple of cases that I need to take up. It is unrelated to this case. And also someone is supposed to change out the chairs that we have over there for you. Hopefully they will be more comfortable. I'll let you be the judge of that. Everyone, please rise for the jurors. Hi, Michael.
Hello, Judge.
Your client to be brought.
Awesome.
And we'll wait for them to change could you all switch off so we could hear? Thank you. No problem, it happens.
Oh, which means off you said?
No. She has to change the computer and to be brought so that we can hear Mr. DeLeon.
Then I was just gonna put the stickers on the 22 AB.
Are they gonna come in, the chairs?
Yes, they're supposed to, Norma,
The
can you
chairs right
call,
here.
Trevino?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, and let her know that we have them on an early break so that they can switch out the chairs. All right, so what if they change the chairs and they're harder than they were before? Deputy Laura, do you think the chairs are gonna be harder than they were before?
Judge. I don't
No,
know. I don't know.
we shall see. It's all fluid. Megan,
Yes.
are you able to take the plea on Mr. DeLeon's client? He can come up. Mr. DeLeon, what is your client's name,
Wait, I'm
please?
going to sit over there.
Mr. Vargas, Ricardo.
Ricardo Vargas? You need to make sure you're on time for court. No. I mean, I know it happens, but you know, times are times, right? And this is not the first time. I always give people a little leeway when it's their first time coming to court because sometimes you get lost and you don't estimate time correctly. All right, the court is calling. Oh, where's Cindy?
Oh. She stepped out. Let me go.
Mhm.
Are y'all changing the chairs out?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, I
You
mean,
can just grab them from there. You have to-
just put them in there,
Just put them in there.
but they're not secured.
I don't know. I'm sorry, Joe.
Yeah, we're on the record. All right, court is calling 2025 CR 002405 State versus Ricardo Vargas. Can I have parties announce?
Jason Garrett here for the state.
Michael DeLeon for Mr. Vargas.
And are you Mr. Vargas? All right, do you have any objection to your counsel appearing by Zoom? All right, counsel, did you receive all discovery? Did you review it with your client?
I did, Your Honor. Yes.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Vargas, did you review the application for deferred adjudication with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it? Did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it? Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Your Honor.
State, it appears that you're proceeding on count 2 only. Is that correct?
That's-
Any objection to the waiver of count 1?
No objection, Your Honor.
Mr. Vargas, did you review the court admonishments and admissions with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places? Did you understand the state is proceeding on count 2? That's possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, 4 to 200 grams. That's a second-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine. If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand? You have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses. The state would call in the right to remain silent. Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights? Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case? Did you understand that the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication? If for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
He has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I do, yes.
Mr. Vargas, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea? Anyone promised you anything other than the plea? Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented? Are you a U.S. citizen? Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it? According to the plea, the state is proceeding on count 2. There's a $2,000 fine. State recommends deferred adjudication. Did you understand that to be the plea? Defense?
That is correct, Your Honor.
State?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in both places? Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand? Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No motions, Your Honor.
Outside the agreement, the state is recommending that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 6 years. There be 200 hours of community service restitution, a TAP evaluation, the MRT course. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations? Then to count two, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? State any evidence.
Yes, Your Honor. Exhibit number 1 with all its attachments.
We reviewed that, Your Honor. We have no objection.
All right, state, you may be excused.
Judge.
Did you review the waiver and stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places? Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent? Did you understand that today the state would be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand? Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments. The court has reviewed the same. The court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
We are, Your Honor, going to waive PSI. We would only ask the court, Mr. Vargas is court appointed. I don't know if the court would be willing to probate any of that fine.
All right. So, Mr. Vargas, how old are you? Are you employed? What do you do?
Sales of all our businesses to make a donation for a student literacy program.
Do you have any children?
I do.
What are their ages? All right. Do you have contact with them?
This training. I was.
All right. So how often have you been using?
I was using pretty often whenever, because my mom passed away, so like it was like kind of like. That's how it happened, but I actually stopped on the 1st of January.
So if you're drug tested today, what are the results going to be?
Yeah, no, I won't be very. I have I've been going to classes and stuff.
How often have you been going to classes?
Not very often, but I mean I've started and
See,
but I mean like I have everyone that I work with is actually in like they're in I guess you know not using stuff, they're going to classes, they're living in sober living houses and I mean I just really don't have any want to use because in this I live the life that I'm trying to live and it was just like a mistake, misjudgment on my end.
All right, not mistake. We're making choices here, right? Because I read the police report. In the police report, they saw your cell phone, and in your cell phone, you were asking somebody if they wanted to come smoke. So these were choices that you were making. So you need to figure out the reason you're making the choices that you're making and do a course correction, because otherwise you're looking at potentially 20 years in the prison. Now, if you have a drug or alcohol problem, I will give you programs that will perhaps help you with this. All right, you understand?
Not I didn't have a problem, but like I mean, this was like a year and a half ago, and so like I mean, I just thought that I definitely like had time to realize like get myself out of it. Luckily,
All right, I'm gonna have you drug tested today. Ms. Abrams, can you call and see if they can have him drug tested today? All right, there's a $2,000 fine. It's going to be probated, 6 years deferred adjudication. Proof of employment within 30 days, no employment as a home health care provider with minors, regular reporting by Zoom or in person, regular random UAs. There's going to be a TAP evaluation out of custody if you're negative. If you're positive, then you're going to come back to this court and you're going to do the TAP evaluation in custody. Do you understand?
what is that?
Oh, that means that what's going to end up happening is you're going to leave from this courtroom. You're going to do a UA. There are people who will test you today. And if you are positive, you're going to come back here. You're going to go in custody and they're going to do the TAP evaluation in custody. Well, I mean, what is your results going to be? All right, so why didn't you just say that in the beginning?
trouble.
Well, no, I mean, here's the thing. I ask these questions, and the reason why I ask these questions normally is to see where you are in the phase of your sobriety. And so you're not sober at all. The AA meetings, the NA meetings that you're doing, you're not actively participating in them, because if you were, if you felt like you were going to use, that's when you use your tools, you pick up the phone and you call your sponsor or you go to an AA meeting, right? So what will you be positive for? And what else?
That,
All right, so how often are you using?
Um. Like every few days, so often.
All right. And here's the thing, we're all on our journey to try to become better people and live clean, sober lives. So where you are today, and I would tell my clients this all the time, where you are today, hopefully that's not where we're going to see you 10 years from now. You're still in the same place. All right. So I'm going to set your conditions. The conditions I'm setting for you are so that you to hopefully can maintain your sobriety. Because if you're using drugs, only one or two things going to end up happening. Either you're going to be in and out of somebody's jail, in and out of prison, or somebody's going to have to come and identify your body. And I don't think you want your 19-year-old for them to call him up and say, we need a body identified. You understand? All right. So there's going to be a $2,000 fine, probated, 6 years deferred adjudication, proof of employment within 30 days of release, no employment as a home health care provider or with minors, regular reporting by Zoom or in person, regular random UAs, 90 sober meetings in 90 days. This is what I want done in custody. A TAP evaluation, a referral to felony drug court. And then there's going to be field visits 1 time per month until further notice. 200 hours of community service restitution. 100 hours will be deducted upon completion of the MRT course. Probation, is there anything else? Is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful? All right, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it? All right, because this is a plea bargaining agreement, because I followed your plea bargaining agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand? All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing. You need to be 100% honest with felony drug court. It's a difficult program, but it's a good program. You need to be 100% truthful with the TAP evaluation, because I'm trying to give you the tools you need so that you will not potentially end up going to prison for 20 years. You understand? And, you know, other courts, I don't know what they're doing, but it is best for you to be honest with me if you have a drug or alcohol problem, because I can tell you in this court, probation wants you to get help, the state wants you to get help, and your attorney wants you to get help. This is no one trying to trick you. You understand? All right. And make sure you're on time.
Yeah, so like the evaluation's gonna be done in custody.
Yes.
So that means I'm gonna be in jail.
In custody, yes. And I can tell you the felony drug court evaluation, because it's Thursday, they'll probably have it completed by next week. Probably Wednesday. They'll know if they're going to accept you or not. But I can tell you this, if you're dishonest about your drug problem, they're not going to accept you.
Will I be able to go home today?
No,
No?
no. Really?
No.
I mean, this is what I want you to internalize and understand. You came before me and you looked me straight in my eye and you told me, I've been doing well. I haven't used since January. I could look at you, and based upon what I see, I knew you were going to be positive. I was just waiting for you to tell me. And then when I said, oh, we're going to do a UA today, I'm going to send you today to do it, you were still like going on as though the UA today wasn't going to happen. And then when probation was on the phone, because you knew it was going to happen, then finally you come clean.
Trying to go back to work. I mean, I just have like,
Nobody wants a salesperson who's using meth every other day.
I mean, I'm trying to get better. I just feel like going back to jail is not gonna do me.
Is continuing to use every other day going to do you any good? No.
I mean, if I was in probation when I took the drug test,
Let me ask you this. Did you know you had court today?
I did.
All right, meth doesn't stay in your system that long. To me, what you should have been doing is saying, you know what? I know I have court today. I'm going to be on time for court. And the week before, I'm not going to do any drugs because I want to have a negative UA. You can do that. You're in the throes of your addiction. And sometimes when people are in the throes of their addiction, they can't even tell the truth to themselves. And right now, I'm going to have to help you and stop the madness that's going on in your life. Otherwise, who knows? You may end up with a bad batch of meth because let me just tell you, it's not FDA approved. Nobody's in their garage making meth and saying, let's make sure we don't get any rodent droppings in this. They don't care. They just want a customer. You're going to pay for it. And if you end up dying, they're not going to be saying, oh, let's hold a visual for you because you died. They're going to be like, okay, next one.
Your Honor, my dad into my truck's parked in the garage.
So let me ask you this. Why didn't you think about your father being 82 when you were getting ready to use?
I didn't think that I was gonna be drug tested today, and I felt like I would be able to like be clean by the time. I know I'll be clean. I mean, can we just like give me 4 days to go see the?
No.
Okay, come on.
All right, thank you.
Thank
Thank you, Mr. Kelly. All right, Mr. Contreras, who is your client, Attorney Contreras?
You're right.
All right, Isaac Valle. Well, I mean, you know what? There's no trap door. I'm just trying to figure out how I can help you. Which one? Oh, they need to fingerprint you just a moment. And then I will take your case up.
You mentioned on
Yes.
the actual trial case.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be on record. That's tough. That's not that. I'm making sure for logistically tomorrow. Are we going to 9 to 5 or?
We're gonna start All right, we're back on the record. Court is calling 2025 CR 003678, State versus Isaac Joel Valles. Could I have parties announced?
Jason Garahan for the state draw. George.
And are you Mr. Valles? Counsel, have you received all discovery? Did you review it with your client?
Yes.
Mr. Valles, did you review the application for deferred adjudication with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it? Did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it? Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment? State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
We are, Your Honor.
Okay, counsel. He doesn't have a right to appeal, but he also waives his right to appeal in the, well, you cross that out. Okay. So, Mr. Valle, did you review the court admonishments? Oh, if you can just grab another one.
Yeah.
Did you review the court admonishments with your attorney? Did you understand it, sign it in all the appropriate places? You're charged with evading arrest, detention, or vehicle. That's a third-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. If you have a plea with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand? You have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent. Did you understand by entering this plea you were giving up those rights? Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case? Did you understand that the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication? If for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 10 years in the prison and up to a $10,000 fine? Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
He has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I did.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Aye.
Mr. Valles, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter the plea? Anyone promised you anything other than the plea? Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented? Are you a U.S. citizen? Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page? With your attorney, did you understand that? According to the plea, there's a $2,000 fine. State recommends deferred adjudication. This will run concurrently with a misdemeanor case, UCW. The state will take in consideration 2024 PF 28380 and 2024 CR 008616. Does anyone know the case number to the case that this is running concurrently with?
It's a. Yeah, Judge, it's a UCW, but let me see if I have my.
It should be on the
It should
docket
be on
sheet,
the,
but I don't know what my docket is.
Oh, I have it on my back.
7333080.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
CC 7333080.
Thank you. So that will run concurrent with CC 7333080. Any objection to the court writing in the cause number?
No objection. No.
All right. So you understood that to be the plea? Defense is that the plea?
It is.
State?
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in both places? Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand? Counsel, are there been any such motions?
No motion.
All right, outside the agreement, the state is recommending that your community supervision be for a term of 6 years. There be a TAP evaluation and 200 hours of community service restitution. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state, and the court does not have to follow those recommendations? Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? State any evidence.
No objection.
Did you review the state? You may be excused. Did you review the waiver and stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it in all the appropriate places? Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent? Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand? Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments. Court has reviewed the same. Court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you apply for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Mother's here, I've got to know her.
Mhm.
What I can say is hard work. He works for a family business.
Mhm.
He's there all the time. He's a master mechanic. He learned from his dad.
Mhm.
And it's that lack of work is the #1 indicator of mischief.
Mhm.
So I think we have that going. But he also, he has problems doing things.
Okay. So what are you going to be positive for? All right. How often are you using? And how much is it now? All right. Do you have any children? That's a good thing because you're not ready for that yet. So, who is the person that you love most in this world? All right. So, I'm going to tell you this. Sometimes people can't stop using, right, for themselves. You're really supposed to do it for yourself. But I always tell people if you can't stop using for yourself, then stop using for your parents. All right. Because I'm sure that's breaking your mom's heart. I'm sure that's breaking your dad's heart. Right. And I'm going to tell you what I told the person before me. Only 1 or 2 things going to end up happening if you continue to use. Either you're going to be in and out of jail, in and out of prison, or either your parents are going to be the ones who have to identify you. Do you understand? So you're going to have to follow these conditions. I'm going to let you do your TAP evaluation out of custody because you were honest with the court, but you cannot use. You understand? Because the last time you use may be the last time you use. So what are you doing with your life right now? What are your work hours?
Fine.
All right. And who are you hanging around with? So whoever you're hanging around with that's causing you to use, and I say causing you to use, I say that loosely, but sometimes when you're around certain people, when they tolerate certain things and don't try to check you and say, this is not the right thing to do, you're going to have to cut them loose. With drugs, you have to change people, places, and things. So anyone who is not with you on your path of sobriety, you're going to have to leave them behind because you're not in a phase in your life where you can stop, using yourself. So you can't help anybody yet. You understand? All right, this is what the court is going to do. There's going to be 6 years deferred adjudication. If you show me something, I'll consider releasing you early. You understand? This is going to run concurrent with CC 733080, taking consideration 2024 CR 008616, 2024 PF 28380. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person, regular random UAs, proof of employment within 30 days, no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. There's to be no unsupervised contact with minors. And that may change once you have proven to me that you can be clean and sober. The reason why I put that there is because I don't want you to have a bad influence on any minors. You understand? There's going to be a $2,000 fine that will be probated, 200 hours of community service restitution. So are you certified as a mechanic? All right. It's 200 hours community service restitution. If you obtain some sort of trade school certification in whatever field you want, or some sort of higher level of education, the court will deem the 200 hours of community service restitution satisfied. So it's up to you. Do you want to be working in the San Antonio heat, or do you want to be bettering yourself? And I consider when people are on probation here, if they better themselves, that's service to the community. There's going to be field visits 1 time per month for 6 months. I'm going to make you take the aggressive driving course. There's to be a TAP evaluation and a referral to felony drug court out of custody. You need to be 100% honest with felony drug court. You understand? It's a good program. It's a hard program, but they'll be able to help you. Probation, is there anything else? Is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful? All right, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it? Because this plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand? All right, we can go off the record. Mom, in this court, when people are placed on probation, I want them to be successful. Yes. So this is what I can tell you. In this court, everybody's agreed that they want him deferred. So everybody wants him to be successful in life. I want him to be successful in life. I don't want to have to see him for a motion to revoke. I don't want to have to potentially send him to prison. So in order for him to be successful on probation, he has to stay on the straight and narrow, and communication is key. If you see where he's falling off or venturing off, call probation. The defense will tell you that what I usually do when somebody falls off, it's sort of like they're getting too close to the line and they're not doing well. I'll set it for a compliance hearing, and I'll try to redirect them, change the course, but we'll give them that chance here. You understand? So if you see something is going wrong with him, let your attorney know, let probation know, so we can see what we can do to help him. Okay? And is there anything else he needs other than what I've ordered for him? Does he need a curfew with you? All right. All right. When do you want his curfew at? When do you want him in the house? All right. When you live with your parents, you live by your parents' rules. We're back on the record. And Isaac Valles, he has a curfew of midnight. So you need to be in the house all the time at 12 a.m. And here's the thing, we're off the record. Nothing good happens after midnight. If you're still up after midnight, that means you have insomnia, or either you're getting into trouble. All right? Thank you for telling me that, Mom. And if there's something else you need, just let probation know. And your mom is trying to help you. And if you think there's somebody he shouldn't be hanging around, let us know that too, because I'll put a no contact order in there. All right, thank you. Thank you. Have a good one. All right, so Norma, the people who are not here are Walter Miranda and Vanessa Rubio, so we'll take that up on a different date. All right, if you'll give me the dates for those two.
Are we done for right now?
Yes,
Just gonna get some water and go to the bathroom real quick.
Okay. Does anyone need to use the restroom? Now's the time, because I'm gonna bring the jury back in no later than 3:30. Maybe see it. Or are you testing the chairs? Okay. It took a little longer than we anticipated to change them out. Back row, those chairs haven't been changed yet, but we're getting there. All right, everyone, please be seated and state there was a relabeling you wanted
Yes,
to do.
Your Honor. So the state moves to relabel what was previously State's Exhibit number 22 as the big envelope as State's Exhibit number 22, and the two interior envelopes that were labeled in Sergeant Pearson's report as E1 and E15 as 22A and 22B.
All right, any objections to those relabeling?
No, Your Honor.
All right, then entered into evidence will be State's Exhibit number 22, 22A, and 22B. All right, State, you can call your next witness.
Yes, Your Honor, the state calls Officer Landon Abernowski.
All right, there's a silver microphone up there. If you can make sure you put that somewhere in your lapel, it's for the court reporter here.
Does that work?
Yes.
Sounds good.
And if you could raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand if you'll state your name for record and spell your last name.
I'm Landon Urbanowski. My last name is U-R-B as in boy, A-N-O-W-S-K-I.
All right, State, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Officer, can you just please introduce yourself to the jury?
Yes, I'm Officer Landon Urbanowski,
And who do you currently work for?
the San Antonio Police Department,
How long have you worked for the San Antonio Police Department?
coming up on 4 years.
And did you have to go through certain training experiences to become a police officer?
Yes, sir.
And can you briefly just tell the jury what those training experiences that you had to do?
The initial training is 9 months in the police academy, and then after that, you go through an FTO period that's about 3 months.
And are you a Texas certified police officer?
Yes, sir.
And currently, what are your duties as an officer?
I'm currently assigned to the DWI unit.
And you said the DWI unit,
Yes, sir.
driving while intoxicated unit?
Yes, sir.
And what shift do you work?
It's the DWI shift. It's from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m.
And so, I'm sorry, 8 p.m. to 8,
to 6 a.m.
okay, 6 a.m. So you work the, I guess, what you call the night shift, I guess.
Yes.
I mean, I'm assuming that's when most DWIs happen, right?
Yes.
All right. So you've been working, I know you worked last night, the night before, so I'll try to be as brief as possible. And that's why I'm going to go ahead and go to the date of May 22nd, 2022. Were you dispatched to a scene on the early morning hours of that day?
Yes, sir.
And is there an SAP number associated with this incident that you were dispatched to?
Are you referring to that case number?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And did you make a report for this case?
I did. I made a supplemental.
And you have that in front of you right now?
No.
Okay. And can you just briefly look over that sheet and tell me if that's a fair and accurate copy of your report?
Yes, sir.
And just to let you know, you can look at it, refresh your memory and everything. Please don't read directly from it. It's not in evidence and it won't be entered into evidence. Do you know can you tell the jury what the SAPD number or case number associated with this case is?
It's SAPD 22108229.
Thank you. Now, this happened on May 22nd, 2022. Why were you dispatched to this to a certain area in San Antonio?
Initially, a officer in trouble tone came out citywide.
And do you recall the area of town that you were dispatched to?
Yes, it was on the north side of town.
And did you make it to that area that you were dispatched to?
Yes.
And what were you tasked to do at that time?
Initially, I responded to the scene of the officer in trouble. And then from there, once we knew that the officers were okay, we went out to look for the suspect vehicle that was advised to us.
And did you have a description of the suspect vehicle?
I believe at the time they just said it was like a white SUV or something along those lines.
And at that time, when what explain to the jury what y'all are doing? Y'all go door to door, or do you drive around the area? What are y'all doing?
At that time, we were just driving around the surrounding areas. It was off there off of O'Connor, so we were kind of staying within what we would call the 32 side, but it's the like northeast side of town. Kind of everything from 35 upwards to 1604 and then over to 281.
And at any time, did you have contact with an Officer Garcia, badge number 0680?
Yes.
And were you, why were you, making contact with that officer?
Initially, him and I were responding to a separate call for service, and we were driving to that when the tone out came out, and due to it being a much more serious incident, we rerouted to that.
And did you ever make contact with an Officer Gonzalez, badge number 0110?
Yes.
And tell the jury about making contact with that individual and why.
Officer Gonzalez advised he believed he found the vehicle that was involved in the shooting incident, and I relocated to him to assist him.
And do you recall the address of that location that you made contact with Officer Gonzalez?
4514 Buckmore Street.
Sorry, what was
4514 Buckmore.
Buckmore? Okay, thank you. And did you arrive at that scene?
Yes.
And what did you see at that scene?
There was a white SUV parked in a driveway, and the back windshield was shattered out.
And tell the jury, what do you do at that moment? Do you just approach, knock on the door, or what are y'all doing then?
When we first tried to think initially, we were setting up a perimeter around the vehicle to make sure there was no immediate threat that would sneak up on us while we were trying to investigate the car.
And tell the jury, where was the vehicle parked?
It was in a driveway of the house.
And was it parked at, like, just in the driveway? Was it in the middle of the driveway? Was it parked, I guess, straight into the driveway?
Yes, it was pulled into the driveway, not like reversed in.
And was the vehicle, what was it on or was it off?
I believe it was turned off. I believe the driver's side window was still down, the back windshield was shattered out, and I believe there was damage to the right side of the car.
And did you ever approach the vehicle?
Yes.
And was anybody in the vehicle?
No.
Was there anybody outside of the vehicle standing around?
No.
Were there any objects of any type of interest on the outside of the vehicle, meaning on the ground around it?
Not that I recall.
What about, were you able to see inside the vehicle anytime?
Yes.
And any things of interest for this case found or seen from the outside into the car?
There was shell casings on the driver's side floorboard, and then I believe a name tag was left on the passenger seat.
And do you recall what the name tag, what the name was on the name tag?
Tyler.
And of course, you already mentioned the shattered back window.
Yes.
Now, just to your eye and just through your experiences, did the back window, the shattered glass or shattered window, did it look like it was relatively new, or did it look like it'd been there for a while?
It looked relatively new.
And if the vehicle, did you test the vehicle to see, I mean, is there any way to test the vehicle to see if it had just been driven or not?
At one point, I hovered my hand over the hood, and you could feel the heat emanating off of it.
And what does that indicate?
That the car had just recently been operated, that the engine was still producing heat from it, hadn't cooled off yet.
And at that particular time, did you do, what was the process that the SAPD did go through at that point with this vehicle?
Initially, we didn't know if whoever was operating the vehicle was still there, if they were inside the house that it was parked in front of, so we kind of set up a quadrant around the area to wait to kind of see what was going on inside the house. SWAT ended up coming out, and it turned into a almost like a standoff, but not just kind of waiting to see if we could get any kind of movement coming from the house. And then eventually SWAT pulled the vehicle out of the driveway, and it was towed off.
And did you stay at the location until somebody came out of the house, or what were your duties at that point?
Eventually I was assigned to stay with the vehicle, so once the vehicle was removed from the driveway, I assisted in the towing process, and I followed it down to where our secure facility is at for the vehicle.
And that secure facility is at the ninth, I guess, the 9th Street,
Yes, sir.
I guess, storage area.
Yes, sir.
And at that point, did you have any other duties associated with this case?
Outside of that, no, sir.
Now, what was it part of your duties to investigate or search the vehicle on the inside?
No.
Were your duties to do anything else other than secure that area and then follow the vehicle to the 9th Street storage facility?
That's correct. That was it.
I'm going to show you what's been marked State Exhibit number 33. And it's an envelope, but inside that envelope is a disc. Do you recognize that disc?
Yes, sir.
And how do you recognize that disc?
It has my initial signature and date.
And what is pertained on this disc?
My body cam video from that night.
And does it fairly and accurately represent that night?
Yes.
It's been muted for purposes of this case, but other than that, has it been changed in any way?
No, sir.
Judge, at this time, the state offers state exhibit number 33, tender to defense for any objections. No objection. Yeah.
All right, State's Exhibit number 33 is admitted without objection.
And again, Judge, my technical skills are not the best, but I have downloaded and we've already tried it to the hard drive on the computer. I just ask if there's any objection, Judge, that we use the actual copy from the actual computer, exact copy.
That's fine, Judge.
All right, no objections?
No.
All right,
And publish it to the jury, Your Honor?
yes.
And officers, can you describe to the jury what we're looking at right now?
This is my body cam video.
And so your body cam, do you have a body cam on right now?
I do not.
And can you just stand up and just show the jury where that body cam is?
Sorry for that. Typically, there's a magnetic mount that mounts right here to the chest. The inner sleeve of it goes under the shirt, and then the magnet goes to the outside, and it's typically sits right about here. Different officers wear it different places, but I typically keep mine centered there.
Okay, thank you, officer. I appreciate that. But that's why we're looking at steering wheel and the windshield and everything. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. For the purposes of just time, I'm gonna go ahead and fast forward this to the media player at 48 minutes and 31 seconds. And now tell the jury what we're looking at now.
This was when we were initially trying to set up a perimeter around the vehicle in question here. If I stand up, you'll see momentarily. It's directly in the direction I'm facing. It's directly in front of me there. And I'm behind a neighboring truck.
And so if you pause. Can you just tell the jury what vehicle that were of interest here?
So directly, the way my video is facing here, that white SUV in the driveway there.
I'm sorry.
The white SUV.
Okay, so roughly there we go. We're toggling over that portion now.
Yes.
Go ahead. And I see that your weapon is drawn. Why is your weapon drawn?
Just due to the circumstances of from what we were advised at that time, it was an officer involved shooting, and the suspect was believed to be armed.
And we're gonna go ahead and fast forward to 55 minutes and 48 seconds. 55:40. Is this that same vehicle that we saw previously in your body cam video?
Yes, sir.
And can you describe to the jury what we're looking at right now?
That's the back of the vehicle listed in this incident here. It's a white SUV, and then as you can see, the back windshield is shattered out, and then there's damage to that back right quarter panel.
I don't know if I can't really read that license plate, but if we go ahead and play. And it looks like, NVX, is that a 0535?
NVX or NYX 0535 is what it looks like to me.
I'm gonna go ahead and fast forward to 1 hour, 15 minutes and 19 seconds. 1:15:19. And during this time period, does anybody exit the house that you're aware of?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
And again, there's several you officers around this area and watching the car and watching the house.
Correct.
And then go ahead and fast forward to 1:19:44. We're gonna fast forward to 1:19:44. Need to pause it real quick. And it seems that you're speaking to a vehicle or occupants of a vehicle outside. I'm not gonna ask you what you spoke with them about, but those people came up upon the scene. Were they suspects or were they witnesses of anything of this case?
No, they were people who lived in the neighborhood.
And then let's just go ahead all the way down. And explain to the jury what you're looking at here.
Sorry, the screen is really clear. It's even hard for me to see.
You can look up some background.
Or either you can step down.
This is here at 9th Street Brown. This is when the vehicle is being dropped off at the secure facility.
And it would have shown on your body cam that you were driving, following the vehicle to the pound.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did you have any other duties associated with the case other than what we've seen and what we've talked about in front of the jury at this point?
Nothing that was of super pertinence or anything like that. When I was on scene at different times, they asked me to do small things here and there, but nothing of great substance.
You didn't interview any witnesses or the suspect or anybody else?
Correct.
Oh, thank you. We'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
All right, defense.
Thank you, Judge. Good afternoon, good afternoon, Officer Urban.
How you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm okay.
So you stated that you were currently you're assigned to DWI task force. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
So I would assume a lot of that involves night shift work, correct?
Correct.
And I would assume that in your experience as a DWI task force officer, you've come into contact with many intoxicated individuals.
Correct.
And what time do the bars typically close in San Antonio and Bear County?
It depends what day. The kind of average would be 2 a.m., but on certain weekdays, a lot of bars will close at midnight. But 2 a.m. is generally the normal one for weekends and stuff like that.
Bars are forced to close at 2 a.m., correct?
They're supposed to.
And so would you agree that after 2 a.m., as a DWI task force officer, typically there will be a greater influx of intoxicated drivers on the road at that point?
For a certain time period, yes.
You mean for a certain time period after 2 a.m.?
It'll taper down. It doesn't substantially increase and keep going for forever, but there's an influx typically when we call it bar breakout, but just past 2 a.m. when everyone's leaving the bars.
Okay. What time does this bar breakout period usually last?
You kind of start seeing an influx in traffic, I would say probably between 1:30 and then it'll start slowing down again 2:30 and onwards.
2:30 a.m. and then
Yes, correct, in the mornings.
and then
Yes,
taper off at that point.
yes.
Okay. And you say that you've come into contact with many intoxicated individuals.
Yes,
Correct? Okay. Not everyone plans a safe ride home, unfortunately.
that's why I have a job. Yes, sir.
And intoxicated individuals, they have decreased reaction time, correct?
Correct.
Usually decreased decision making.
They can, yes.
Okay. And decrease sense of direction at times, correct?
They can, yes.
One of the standard questions in your DWI questionnaire is, do you know where you are right now?
Yes,
Correct? And sometimes intoxicated individuals, when you pull them over, won't even know where they're at, correct?
sometimes, yes.
Okay, and sometimes they'll think they're at a location that they're not, correct?
Sometimes, yes.
Intoxicated individuals' eyesight can also be impaired, correct?
Yes, it can.
That's why one of the tests that you perform is the horizontal gaze nystagmus.
Yes.
And with that test, I won't go over the whole thing, but with that test, the basic theory is you're looking at whether or not the muscles in the eyes have lost a little bit of their control, correct?
Yes.
And even approaching the legal limit or right at the legal limit, you'll be able to notice nystagmus.
Not necessarily, no.
Not with every individual.
Well, no, if someone's under the legal limit, it's possible they wouldn't have nystagmus. Possible, but
Okay.
not
It's-
always.
It's one of a series of clues that you look for, correct?
Yes,
And there's 6 clues under the nystagmus exam, correct? That you're
Yes.
looking for. And individuals, even right around the legal limit, right at a 0.08, will still indicate possibly some clues of nystagmus.
yes, nystagmus should be present.
Okay. And intoxicated individuals are sometimes they make wrong turns. Is that correct?
Are driving wrong turns?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay. Sometimes that can be fatal.
it can, yes,
Okay. Like wrong way on the highway.
yes,
Okay. Now, you stated that, and we saw in the video that you responded to Buckmore. Was that right? That was the street located the white SUV at.
yes, Buckmore Street.
Okay. But directly before that, after you left the church, you relocated to Nacogdoches, correct?
Yes,
And you relocated to Nacogdoches because officers had a suspect in custody, correct? Or somebody they thought might have been involved.
they were trying to detain someone they believed was a suspect in it.
Was that individual was driving a white SUV as well?
I don't recall. I believe he was like a street vendor or something like that.
Okay. Would it help your memory to refer to your report?
And to which specific question are you referring to?
So you said this was like a street vendor? Is that what you said?
That's what it looked like to me when I first pulled up. He was on the part of Nacogdoches. There was like a little setup there, from my memory, but I don't know what his exact occupation is.
But you reload. So you responded. I guess let's back up. You responded to the officer involved shooting at the CT church first, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And so that was the first location we're at.
Yes.
And other officers were handling the scene there, correct?
Yes.
And then, so your next, I guess, course of action was to assist in attempting to locate the suspect vehicle.
Correct.
Okay. And the very next location that you go to is Nacogdoches Road.
I believe I was driving around, but the next like serious point of interest where I went to was Nacogdoches. Yes, was to where they were advising they might have had a suspect.
When you state in your report, while searching, I was informed that other assisting officers may have located the suspect vehicle off Nacogdoches Road. Is that correct? And when you say the suspect vehicle, you mean the suspect vehicle involved in this officer involved shooting?
It was a possible vehicle. They believe
Right.
it might be involved at that
A
time.
possible vehicle.
Yes.
Okay. And it had already been toned out over to the radio that the suspect vehicle was a white SUV.
It was put out over the radio. It wasn't toned out. But
Okay, it was put out over the radio.
yes.
Okay.
I believe so.
Meaning that all the officers were aware that that was the description of the vehicle that you all were looking for.
Yes.
And so you stated that, I guess I'll back up. In that video, we looked at you looking inside the white Nissan Rogue on Buckmore, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And I believe you stated you saw a couple shell casings inside the vehicle,
Yes, the driver's side floorboard.
the driver's side floorboard. Okay, I approach the witness, Judge.
Yes.
I think am I on 76? For the exhibits?
Yeah, your last one.
Yes, you're on 76.
Okay, Officer Bernatson. I'm gonna show you what I've marked as defendant's exhibits 76 through 79. Do you recognize these?
No,
If you could look at all the exhibits before you answer.
I haven't seen these pictures before now.
Okay. That's not a fair and accurate depiction of what you saw when you looked into that white SUV?
It does look like the interior of the SUV, but if you're referring to these photos, I have not seen these photos before now.
I'm not asking if you've seen like these photos, if you've taken these photos. To be fair, all I'm asking you is, are these fair and accurate depictions of the same thing that you saw when you looked into the driver's side of and looked onto the floorboard of that white Nissan Rogue?
I mean, for the most part, yes, but from where I'm at, I can't get exact angles as these pictures were taken.
Okay, so are you stating that this is not the driver's side floorboard of that white SUV?
It does look like it, yes, sir.
It does look like it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just where I'm at, looking inside of a car,
Okay.
when you're asking me, is this, that there's certain angles here that I wouldn't be able to see from the outside of a car. Like,
Okay.
for example, this one appears to be from the driver's seat, which obviously I couldn't really access at that point, but yes, it does look like the interior of the SUV.
But on the video we saw, you were looking into the driver's side, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
The window was down?
Yes,
Okay, you were able to look down.
yes,
So you did see the driver's side floorboard in the white SUV.
yes.
And defendant's exhibit 76, does that depict a driver's side floorboard?
Yes,
Okay. Is that the same driver's side floorboard that you saw on May 22nd, 2022?
I believe so.
Okay. Is it a fair and accurate depiction of what you saw on that night?
Like I said previously, it's kind of hard for me to tell you directly, yes, because I wasn't in this exact angle, but yes, it looks like the same
Okay.
floorboard.
Well, you followed the vehicle back to when it was processed, correct?
Correct.
And did you look inside the vehicle at all when it was processed too, or you were just basically assisting in the transport of the vehicle?
I don't believe I did. I believe it was, no, I don't believe I did while I was there now.
Okay. Judge, I would tender defendant's exhibit 76 to the state and offer an evidence.
Well, Your Honor, this officer just can't testify to this particular accuracy of this picture. Other witnesses may be able to.
Okay.
All right, y'all come forward, please.
So defense, are you withdrawing the exhibits as it relates to this witness?
Yes, Judge, I am.
So that's defense exhibits 76, 77, 78, and 79 will be withdrawn as it relates to this witness only. Does everyone understand? All right, you may proceed.
That's the witness, Judge.
All right, any further questions?
No questions, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. You may step down. Just make sure if there's any exhibits that you leave them with the court report, and please leave the microphone as well.
Thank you. Do you want the report up here? Would you like it
You can
back?
leave it there, I'll get it.
Is this witness excused?
Yes, Judge, he is.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you. State, call your next witness.
The state of Texas calls Joe Rodriguez, Your Honor.
you got it.
Sir, raise your right hand for me, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, you can lower your hand, make sure you keep your voice up so that members of the jury and everyone can hear. If you'll state your name for the record.
My name is Joe Rodriguez.
All right, stage, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Rodriguez, can you please just introduce yourself to the jury?
Joe Rodriguez. I'm a crime scene investigator for the San Antonio Police Department.
And as you stated, a crime scene investigator for the San Antonio Police Department. How long have you been an investigator or a crime scene investigator for SAPD?
24 years.
Huh?
24.
24 years. I thought you said 44, and I was like, oh, very good. All right. Can you just tell the jury briefly what entails being a crime scene investigator for the San Antonio Police Department and your duties?
Our duties are to identify, document, collect, and preserve physical evidence at crime scenes. We are also charged with recording the conditions of the crime scene and evidence contained therein. We use videography, sketching, photos, 3D scanners,
Okay,
various methods.
so several different things
Yes.
entail that. And at any one particular crime scene, do you do all of that, or do you do just like certain duties that are assigned to you?
Sometimes all, but usually just certain duties.
And do you have to go through certain training to become a crime scene investigator?
Yes, when we are hired, we are sent to a 3-month, well, back then it was evidence technician school, but it's a crime scene investigator school now,
And
approximately 3 months.
I'm sorry, I don't want to talk over you because I know the court reporter's trying to get down and we can't speak at the same time. And so do you also, I'm assuming 24 years on the job, you have some experience also, including with that training, is that right?
Yes.
So I'm gonna go back to May 22nd of 2022. Were you tasked with processing a vehicle associated with case number 22-108229?
Yes.
And I see that you're looking down at something up there. Do you have a copy of your report up there?
I do. Yes.
And tell the jury what's it? One, where did you process this vehicle at? Was it a certain location?
Yes, we have a vehicle garage. It consists of 3 stalls, vehicle garages. It's a controlled, secure environment to where we can process vehicles. We have supplies there and shelter and various tools and packaging materials and so forth.
And this particular vehicle, was it just you tasked with processing the vehicle?
No, it was not.
Who else was also processing this vehicle?
Detective Perez.
And is that also an individual with the crime scene unit for SAPD?
Yes, he's one of our detectives in the unit.
And do y'all work in unison to process this particular vehicle on that particular day?
Yes.
And tell the jury what things that were found that are of interest in this vehicle.
Casings were located, or a casing, a live round, some name tags, some bank cards. There was some damage to the vehicle, apparent fluid damage. There was some receipts. I think Detective Betters took swabs of various areas of the vehicle and so forth.
And if you need to refresh your memory at any time with your reports, you may. Because for this particular case, did you review your report and did you also review Detective Perez's report?
Yes.
Okay. And you also brought in some items today and some items that were collected that day. Is that correct?
Yes, I did.
And I want to go ahead and approach you and ask you. I'm going to show you what state exhibit number 52. And do you recognize that?
Yes.
And how do you recognize that?
They have the case number, Detective Bettis's signature and initials.
And what is it?
This contains a casing and a live round.
Okay, and state exhibit number actual 52, it has a sticker on it, and this envelope entails 2 different other envelopes.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yes.
And it's been opened, but can you open and reach inside of it and take out the envelopes that are inside? And At this time, Judge, I'm gonna go ahead and mark these. If you don't mind, Judge, I could mark them 52A and 52B.
All right, so you have States Exhibit 52 and then 52A, 52B?
Yes, yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And defense, you can move about if you need to.
And let's go to just 52A. You recognize that envelope,
Yes,
and is an envelope associated with this SAPD case number?
yes.
And what is contained inside of this envelope?
This contains a Blazer 9mm Luger live round.
And I see there's a pair of scissors to your right. Can you go ahead and cut that open to verify that? Just hold it down. It's not entered into evidence yet. Okay. All right. And if you want to leave that right there. And let's go to state exhibit number 52B. Can you go ahead and do you recognize this envelope?
Yes.
And what is it contained inside that envelope?
This contains a Blazer 9mm Luger spent casing.
And can you go ahead and open that to verify that? And put that to the side. And I see that there's another smaller envelope inside of that. Is that correct?
Yes.
Now, were these items collected from that vehicle that day?
Yes.
And do you recall where they were collected from?
The live round, well, they were both collected from the front driver floorboard.
Okay. And at this time, Your Honor, state will move into, or offer into evidence, state exhibit number 52, 52B, and 52A. Sorry, I said that out of order. 52A and 52B.
52A and B.
Yeah,
No objection.
sorry, it's 52, 52A, and 52B.
Any objections?
All right,
No, Judge.
all right.
All right, States Exhibit 52, 52A, and 52B are admitted without objection.
And may I just publish to the jury, Your Honor?
Yes.
I'm gonna just go ahead and hold it up here. This is a shell casing that was collected from the floorboard of the driver's side of that vehicle. Is that correct?
Correct.
And this is a shell casing. And it was a 9mm casing?
9mm.
And then state exhibit number 52A, was this the live 9mm round that was found on the floorboard, very close to the spent shell casing?
Yes.
Now, I'd like to go through. I think it might be a better way to do this. I'm gonna go ahead and show you what's been marked state exhibit number 34 through 51. You can please just look through those and tell me if you can identify them.
I'm sorry, did you say through 51?
Yes, Your Honor.
I recognize these are the photos I took that day.
Now, all these photos, are these the photos that were taken that day of the processing of this vehicle?
Yes.
And they fairly and accurately represent that day and the vehicle?
Yes, they
Uh,
did.
Okay, thank you. And at this time, the state would offer state exhibit number 34 through 51, Your Honor. Attended to defense earlier. We'll see if there's for any objection, Your Honor.
No objection.
All right, States Exhibit 34 through 51 is admitted without objection.
Thank you. It may have published, Your Honor.
Yes.
I'm gonna publish sort of out of order, Investigator Rodriguez, but this is State Exhibit number 38. What is that depicting?
That's the front driver floorboard.
And I don't necessarily have to zoom in because we have State Exhibit number 39 right behind it. Are those the two items that were just entered into evidence, State Exhibit number 52A and 52B?
Yes,
And those are the ones that were collected from that floorboard in that vehicle?
yes.
And State Exhibit number 40 is another just picture of those shell casings on that floorboard. Is that correct?
Correct.
Now, when y'all are processing the vehicle, do y'all try to take pictures of the items as you see them before you move them?
Yes,
So that's where y'all found those items when y'all opened the doors and started looking at the vehicle. Is that correct?
correct.
Show you what's been marked State Exhibit number 53. Are you familiar with that envelope?
Yes.
And what is pertained in that envelope?
A name tag?
And can you please open that and tell me if that's what it does contain?
Yes, it contained the name tag.
And is it a name tag that was collected from this vehicle?
Yes,
And looking at State Exhibit number 48, 49, and 50, is that the same name tag that was collected from the seat of the vehicle that y'all processed that day?
yes,
And it was from the passenger seat, is that correct?
correct.
All right. And Your Honor, the state would offer State Exhibit number 53 into evidence.
No objection.
States Exhibit number 53 is admitted without objection.
The overhead projector, State Exhibit number 48, shows the front seat of that vehicle. And shows a name tag sort of in the crevice of that passenger seat. Is that correct?
Yes,
Is that same name tag that's State Exhibit number 53?
it is.
And what does it depict on here? State Exhibit number 49 is the same name tag, and then also State Exhibit number 50. The name on that name tag?
Tyler.
I'm going to show you what's been marked State Exhibit number 54. Can you please just tell me what is contained in that envelope?
That contains a Wells Fargo ATM card.
And can you please just open that and tell me if that's what it contains?
Contains one Wells Fargo ATM card.
And on State Exhibit number 51, is that the same card that was found on the floorboard on the passenger side of that vehicle?
Yes,
And that's the same exhibit, State Exhibit number 54?
yes.
Okay. Judge will offer State Exhibit number 54 into evidence.
May we approach, Judge?
Yes. Exhibit number 54 is admitted.
Thank you, Judge. Maybe I published to the jury,
Yes.
and that is the same card that was found on the floorboard of that vehicle that you processed on that day.
Yes.
And since I have state exhibit number 51 up, what is that a picture of on the floorboard next to the credit card?
It's an alcoholic beverage bottle.
Okay. And in fact, in your report, do you have it listed under as a empty brandy bottle?
Yes.
Show you what's marked state exhibit number 55. Can you please just tell me what that is?
McDonald's receipt.
And can you please open it and verify if that is contained in there? And is that what is pertained in there?
Yes.
And on this receipt, this is something that was collected from that car, is that correct?
Correct.
Do you remember exactly where it was collected from?
The front passenger floorboard.
Front passenger floorboard. And does it have a date that is pertained to that?
It does.
Okay, and Your Honor, at this time, the state offers state exhibit number 55.
No objection.
All right, state's exhibit number 55 is admitted without objection.
And what's the date on that?
Date is 5/21/22.
Thank you. Also going to show you what's marked, sorry. State exhibit number 56. Are you familiar with that?
I am.
And what is contained in this envelope?
An insurance envelope.
Can you please go ahead and open that and tell me if that's what it is contained within? And is that what was collected from the vehicle that day?
Yes.
And Your Honor, the state would offer state exhibit number 56. Tender defense for any objection.
No objection.
All right, state's exhibit 56 is admitted without objection.
And these are, may I publish to the jury, Your Honor?
Yes.
These are documents related to insurance, is that correct?
Correct.
And in this envelope, inside this letter, it has individuals that are insured for certain vehicles, is that correct?
Yes.
And does it list a 2019 Nissan Rogue?
Yes.
And that it has an identification number, but who's the insured driver or one of the insured drivers on that?
Tyler Ashbaugh.
And then other people that are insured on several different vehicles on there, what are those other individuals' names?
Joseph Gonzalez, Norma Gonzalez.
And then also, is there a Lexus ES associated with this insurance?
Yes.
And then also a Nissan Sentra,
Yes.
and then also a Chevrolet El Camino?
Yes.
Thank you. Now, several envelopes of the next envelopes, in particular, state exhibit number 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, and 63. What is contained in these envelopes?
These contain swabs.
I'm sorry,
Swabs.
and what are these,
Cotton swabs.
what are these cotton swabs?
They're samples of various areas in the vehicle.
Okay, and does it list the items that were swabbed?
Yes.
And can you tell me on state exhibit number 57, what items were swabbed?
I'd have to open it.
That's fine.
Actually, it doesn't, but it says on the report.
Okay, you can reference the report.
Reports, so E9 was taken from the front passenger headrest.
Front passenger headrest,
Yes.
and that was a swab for DNA. Tell the jury, explain to the jury how that is done, please.
So we use, basically they're giant Q-tips, we'll moisten them with distilled water. Then we swab the area for possible trace or DNA. Anywhere we suspect there may be evidence of that nature. And we take a swabbing of that area and it is packaged and sealed.
And so E9, I'm sorry, was taken from where?
E9 is front passenger headrest.
Okay, and that's state exhibit number 57. Let's go to state exhibit number 58. Can you tell the jury where those swabs were obtained from?
Those were from the front driver headrest.
Okay, and then state exhibit number 59, where were those swabs taken from?
The steering wheel,
Okay, and then state exhibit number 60,
the gear shift knob,
gear shift and knobs.
the gear shift knob,
Okay, and then state exhibit number 61,
13 would be the front driver door interior handles.
the interior of the front driver handle.
Yes,
Okay, state exhibit number 62,
that would be from the front passenger door handles, interior side.
interior of the front passenger door, and then state exhibit number 18.
18 was from the.
I'm sorry, number 63, I apologize, number 63,
63 is E18, which was swabbed from the brandy, the liquor bottle.
the brandy
The
liquor
bottle,
bottle.
yes.
Okay. And Your Honor, this time, state would offer state exhibit 57 through 63 into evidence.
No objection.
All right, State's Exhibit 57 through 63 is admitted without objection.
Thank you. Now, Investigator Rodriguez, I'm going to show you these pictures that have previously been entered. One, state exhibit number 34. Is this the vehicle that you processed with Detective Perez that day?
Yes,
And that's the license plate number of NVX0535
correct.
and state exhibit number 35. What does that show to the jury?
It's a side view of the driver's side of the vehicle, an overall view of the vehicle.
Does it show, I guess, anything lacking or damage to the vehicle?
It has a flat tire.
And then state exhibit number 36, what is this a view of?
The interior driver's side of the vehicle.
And roughly in this area right here is where the shell casings were found.
Yes,
State exhibit number 37. Looks like the center console, is that correct?
correct.
And is this that same name tag that was found from Circle K with the name Tyler on it?
Yes,
State exhibit number 41.
that's the another view of the driver's side of the vehicle, showing some damage to the liftgate area.
State exhibit number, and I guess this damage you're showing here, is that additional damage to that back window?
Yes,
I'm going to show you state exhibit number 42. Does that also show that back window is missing? Is that accurate?
yes,
State exhibit number 43. Does that show? Looks like that some more damage. Can you describe to the jury what that you're witnessing here?
looks like a scratch to the bumper.
And can you indicate about the tire here, this rear tire?
Yeah, there's a big glare.
That glare
It's
sort of
it's flat, but it's hard to see when it's flat.
Okay, so that would be the back tire and the front tire. And it looks like the front tire is missing
Yes,
portions of it anyway. But that's something that the damage on there, is that accurate to say?
yes, yes, sir.
State exhibit number 44. Investigator, if you look up there, it might be easier.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry about that. I know there's a glare on that.
Actually, this one works right here, but it's just farther and smaller, but.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the back of the vehicle.
And if you look here, if that window is shattered, is that right?
Yes,
And what is this like hanging down right here?
it looks like a glass held together with the tent
It's sometimes that glass is a portion of it.
or the rubber. I think it's the glass though. It's kind of hard to tell.
Okay, thank you.
It's probably the glass.
I want to show you what's marked state exhibit number 45. Is that a view of the, I guess, sort of that back corner of that vehicle? and it shows a defect here. What does that indicate here?
It's a bullet hole.
I'm gonna show you what's marked state exhibit number 46. And that's that same vehicle, but it looks like it has some type of stick or something there. Can you explain to the jury what we're looking at?
It's a wooden dowel. We use those to show directionality, a flight path, if you will. It's just for demonstrative purposes, just to get an idea of the possible flight path of the projectile.
Of the projectile. So you're sort of indicating, if a bullet, that's a bullet hole, that's where the bullet went.
Correct, and it just makes it easier to see as well.
And so you, I mean, in these type of instances, you need two different points, right?
Correct.
And I guess you have one in the middle here, and then also one in the middle on this white portion. Is that correct?
Yes.
I'm going to show you what's marked state exhibit number 47. And that's a view from the vehicle on the other side, I believe. But what type of damage are we witnessing right there?
There is more bumper damage.
Bumper damage?
Kind of falling off the body, the frame.
Now, did y'all look for any projectiles, meaning bullets, in the vehicle?
We did.
Did y'all find any projectiles or bullets in the vehicle?
We did not.
Also, during your processing of this vehicle, did you try to collect fingerprints?
Yes.
And if you need to reference your report, go right ahead. But can you tell the jury where you tried to lift fingerprints from?
The doors, the front seating area.
Well, let's get a little bit more specific. What about the exterior of the vehicle? Did you investigate or try to lift prints from the exterior side of the passenger door?
Yes.
And what about the exterior of the front driver door handle?
Yes.
And then what about the exterior of the rear passenger door handle?
Yes.
And what about the rear mirror? Did you try to lift from there?
Yes.
And then this empty brandy bottle that was found on the front passenger floorboard, did you try to lift from there?
Yes.
Now, are you in charge of processing, say, let's talk about the fingerprints, since we just previously spoke about that. Are you in charge of trying to compare those to other people's fingerprints or anything?
No.
That's not your expertise.
No.
Is that somebody else that would be processing those to try to match them?
Yes, they're sent out to another unit.
Now, let's go back to these swabs that were taken from different items from the vehicle or different areas. Those are, I guess, what they're called swabs or biological swabs. Is that correct?
Yes.
And you're trying to lift some type of biological material from that. Is that right?
Correct. Yes.
Are you in charge of processing those and trying to analyze and determine whether the DNA matches a certain individual?
No.
That's not not part of your expertise.
No.
Thank you, Investigator Rodriguez. We'll pass the witness.
All right, defense.
Thank you, Judge. Investigator Rodriguez, this vehicle was seized from a driveway on May 22nd, 2022, correct?
I don't know.
You don't know? Okay. Do you know what date it was seized on?
21st, the 22nd.
So it was seized on May 22nd, 2022.
Yes.
And from that date, or from that seizure, it went directly into police custody at that location for those photos.
As far as I know, yes.
Okay. You have no reason to believe there was any sort of unbroken chain of custody or anything like that.
Correct.
And now we saw on that driver's side floorboard, there was, you said one live round, correct?
Yes.
And one spent casing.
Yes.
And when you say one live round, that means it's an unfired bullet, correct?
Correct.
It's not a bullet that has already been fired.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. Give me one. State's Exhibit 36. Zooming in. What does that appear to be on the driver's side floorboard?
It looks like that there looks like a lens to a pair of eyeglasses.
Okay. Was that collected as evidence?
No,
This might be easier if I approach.
Yes.
In State's Exhibit 51, we can see a liquor bottle, correct?
correct.
Okay. On the back of that liquor bottle, can we see how many milliliters that bottle contains right there? Be a little bit difficult to see.
325 or 375.
Okay, so a total
I
of
see a 3 and a 5. I guess it could be a 7 or a 2 in the middle.
either 325 or 375.
Right.
But it's pretty small and hard to see in this photograph.
Yes.
Okay. Does this bottle appear to be completely empty?
It does.
Correct.
All right. Any further questions, State?
No, Your Honor, no question.
All right, is this witness excused?
Yes, from the state, Your Honor.
Yes, from the defense as
All
well.
right, if you'll make sure to leave the microphone behind and leave the exhibits with the court reporter. State, call your next witness. Great, thank you. Well, if you can raise your right hand, do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give would be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand. State your name for the record and keep your voice up so everyone can hear, please.
Hello, my name is Detective Matt Robles. I'm with the San Antonio Police Department. I've been on for 15 years.
All right, State, you may proceed.
Detective Robles, are you a certified peace officer in the state of Texas?
Yes, ma'am.
You stated you've been with the department for 15 years, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you explain to the jury the training that you underwent to become a law enforcement officer?
Yeah, I went through the San Antonio Police Department Police Academy. It was about 6 months and recertification every year, training every year with case law updates. So training never stops, but that's what.
And I'm assuming you went through the academy and FTO program as well, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. What is your current title and assignment with the San Antonio Police Department?
I'm a detective assigned to the covert unit. I'm an undercover detective.
Okay, and so when you say an undercover detective, does that mean that you operate in plainclothes and unmarked vehicles?
Yes, ma'am.
And what are your duties as a detective with the covert unit?
My duties are to conduct covert surveillance using plainclothes, unmarked vehicles. I do narcotics investigations, and we also conduct surveillance on fugitives, wanted fugitives, things like that.
Okay. And do you recall the SCPD case number that you were working on May 22nd of 2022?
I'm not familiar with the case number exactly, but I'm familiar with the case.
Okay. Did you prepare a report on the day that you were conducting your investigation?
Yes, ma'am.
Would it help you refresh your memory if you were able to review a copy of that?
Yes, ma'am.
And Jeff, maybe approach briefly.
Yes.
To review that.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and what is that?
It's a supplement report I wrote subsequent of the day in that case.
Okay, and it appears to be a fair and accurate copy of your report.
Yes.
All right. So can you
Let the jury know what the case number associated with the call you were working on May 22nd of 2022 was?
Yes, ma'am. The case number is going to be SAPD 22108229.
And on that day, were you with the covert unit as well?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And do you recall how you came assigned to that specific SCPD case number?
Yes, ma'am. I was given a message in the morning that an incident had occurred the night prior of an officer involved shooting, and we were requested to help conduct surveillance on multiple addresses that the suspect might be located in.
Okay, and so at that time when you are gonna go out, did you have suspect information and possible location information as well?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and so when you say conduct surveillance, can you just explain what that is to the jury?
So if we have a specific address that is being considered as a place where a suspect might be hiding or residing at, we'll sometimes set up in a unmarked vehicle, whether it be a pickup truck, a car, or some type of vehicle, and we will conduct just visual surveillance on it to kind of see who's coming or going, who's staying there, if there's any type of activity going on there.
Okay, and so on May 22nd of 2022, did you end up conducting surveillance at 12607 Judson Road, San Antonio, Texas 78233?
Yes, ma'am.
And can you just explain to the jury where or what you did when you made the location?
Yes, ma'am. So I had received information that there was an apartment that may be related somehow to the suspect we were looking for. I was given some information that there might be a particular apartment on the corner of a building that was of interest. So I made my way to that location and observed the building in question. So I backed into a parking spot. I remember it being next to like a trash compactor, where when I backed in, I could see the first floor, and I could see a breezeway to and from the building, where if somebody were to walk through, I could see them or observe which apartment they went into, or if they went upstairs or what have you. So I felt that that particular place was a good spot for me to set up a surveillance, what we call an eye, set up an eye there for that target.
Okay. And did you observe anything there at the location where you were specifically?
Yes, I did. So after some time had passed, I observed who I recognized to be the target we were looking for.
Okay, and do you know the name of that target?
I've had her at for.
And do you see him here in court today?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
And would you please point to him and identify him by an article of clothing?
He's wearing a blue long sleeve shirt, tie, and some eyeglasses.
And so can you just explain the process of what happened after you observed the defendant there at the location?
So when we have surveillance on somebody, it's in everybody's best interest that we do what we would consider a takedown safely for both the suspect and for ourselves. So we have to wait for an opportunity that's mutually safe for both of them. And so I had observed the target walk out of his apartment, but he didn't get away from the door far enough for us to like swoop in and get him. So we didn't want to have any type of altercation in a type situation like that. So there were several times where he came outside where I could observe him. And so while we're conducting surveillance, we're planning a way to come in with marked uniforms and marked patrol cars, so that when he does get far enough away, we could swoop in and, using the element of surprise for his safety and for ours, get him into custody without any further incident. So that's what we were planning on doing. And once he made his way out towards the parking lot, that's when I radioed for the marked units to come in, and they were to quickly and with using the element of surprise, take him into custody, so that he was surprised he didn't even have an opportunity to run or to do something, or it would just be better for everybody. So.
Okay. And once the defendant was taken into custody, were you able to confirm that he was in fact Tyler Oswald?
Yes, ma'am.
And this apartment complex that we're talking about, located on Judson Road, is that located in Bear County, Texas?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you wearing a body worn camera on this date?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And were you confident to operate it on that date?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, I'm showing you what's been marked as State's Exhibit number 64. Do you recognize that?
Yes, ma'am.
And can you tell me what that is?
It's a copy of my body worn camera, which I initialed with my badge number.
Okay, and you've reviewed it?
Yes, ma'am.
And is it a fair and accurate depiction of the events as they unfolded on the date that you were conducting your surveillance?
Yes.
Okay, and except to comply with legal rules, has it been altered to your knowledge in any way?
No.
I'm tendering State Exhibit number 64 to defense and offering the same.
No objection.
All right, the parties approach. All right, State's Exhibit number 64 is admitted.
Permission to publish, Your Honor.
Granted.
And can you just explain to the jury, what we're observing currently?
You're observing the view from my body worn camera. I think at this time I'm wearing a tactical vest. And I'm with my seat back, so you're kind of seeing up into the top of the vehicle, inside the vehicle.
Okay, and typically where do you wear your body worn camera?
Typically in the center of my body, on my vest.
And so, we can see, I guess, what is this right here that we can see on the space exhibit?
That would be the breezeway, but the top, I think the top floor, the top of the building there.
Okay, so, and then we can tell that your car is backed in, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. I've backed into a spot where I'm directly in front of the breezeway.
Okay. And so I fast forwarded into State's Exhibit number 64. About 37 minutes and you're still in your vehicle. Are you conducting surveillance during this entire time?
Yes, surveillance can take a long time.
And so I'm playing State's Exhibit number 64. It's around 53 minutes and 28 seconds. Can you explain to the jury what they're seeing currently?
So the target came out the breezeway, but he got far enough away from the door where we had other detectives and officers come from the back of the breezeway, and we approached from the front, and we had the marked units and in full uniform approach and take him into custody.
Okay, and we saw that some other officers on scene did have their firearms out. Why is that?
So oftentimes when a target sees police running at him, it's a scary thing. Oftentimes they try to either get rid of a weapon or sometimes they can return fire at an officer.
Okay, and also, I mean, you were conducting,
Yeah, we were conducting surveillance on a suspect that we believed potentially had fired on officers before.
okay. We talked with them.
All right, defense.
Thank you, Judge. Detective Robles?
Yes, sir.
Okay, just wanted to make sure I got the title right.
Thank you.
When the decision was made to take Tyler into custody and he was apprehended, he did not resist arrest, correct?
No, he did not.
He didn't resist transportation.
I wasn't part of the transportation. I don't believe so.
Okay. He wasn't verbally aggressive with officers.
No, sir.
I believe in that video, it showed you and other officers patting Tyler down.
Yes. Like, you mean like a search?
Patting him
type-
down, yes.
Yeah,
search.
correct, yes. Yes, sir.
His pockets, his upper body, lower body, correct?
Yes, sir.
He did not have a firearm on
He
him.
did not.
He referred to you as sir, correct?
Yes, he was polite.
Okay. That's what's.
No further questions and excuse by the state.
Excused.
Yes, Judge.
All right. You may step down if you'll leave the exhibit behind with the court reporter, please.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is all of the evidence that you're going to hear for today. Please remember my instructions. You're not allowed to view anything about this case. You're not allowed to start thinking about this case outside the courtroom. Don't do any research. Everything that you need to know about this case is to come All right, you all still are slow on that. We're gonna pretend like I didn't say anything. Everything that you need to know about this case is to come from. All right, so we're gonna start tomorrow at 9:30. You don't have to worry about as many people taking up parking space because there have been no other jurors called up for Friday. And usually there are no jurors ordered on Friday. And I haven't heard of a judge who ordered jurors for this Friday. So if you arrive at 9, you should have a parking space. All right, everyone, please rise for the jurors.